Hundreds of ANC members and supporters have gathered at the Phutha-ditjhaba Stadium in Qwaqwa in the Eastern Free State for the ANC'S Siyanqoba rally, which the party president Cyril Ramaphosa will address. The Siyanqoba rally is convened in the last phase of election campaigning. It's also a demonstration of the readiness of the ANC ahead of the upcoming elections. Ramaphosa, together with the ANC provincial leadership, are currently on a drive to woo more support ahead of the poll. Ramaphosa visited Botshabelo and in Bloemfontein on Friday. SABC News' Refilo Mekowa joins us now with the latest from that campaign. Refilo, it is the last election campaign phase. What has the ANC president promised supporters in the Free State? Refilo, can you hear me? It is, of course, the last election campaign phase. What has the ANC president promised supporters out in the Free State?
Can hear you, Alicia. Good afternoon. Yes, the program has just ended. In fact, the formal part of the program has just ended. Right now, it's more of entertainment, where now various artists are busy performing behind me. Earlier on, some of the main issues that the president of the ANC, Cyril Ramaphosa, touched on, he reassured residents that there are water issues here will be a thing of the past. They are working on it in terms of sorting out their pipeline issues and also ablution facilities. He also touched on the power cuts, constant power cuts that are happening here in the area, stating that it's a unique issue when it comes to Thabo Mofokeng and Qwaqwa as a whole, in terms of their issues based on non-payment, as well as some infrastructure that has been vandalized. And I think one of the issues also that the president highlight was the outcome, the turnout of ANC members here and supporters, stating that he really didn't expect that there will be such a huge turnout, and based on that turnout, it sort of reassured him that they will actually gain more votes in terms of the upcoming general elections. However, with me is head of presidency, tell us more of, as the ANC, what do they think in terms of the outcome? Are they satisfied with how the Siyanqoba rally transpired?
We are quite happy that there's been quite a very good turnout, just over 10,000 people. We're excited about it, more so that if you remember, time back we lost about 10 wards or so here, and people were quite unhappy with the ANC. Remember, there's MAP 16 that moved out and we lost wards. And now that we are here, people of Tamfutsanyani, Maluti, Apofung in particular, through the campaign that we've been doing, the mobilization that we've been doing, they are once again saying they now know that without the ANC delivery does not get improvement. So right now we are on the way to make sure that all their needs, what they need in terms of service delivery gets resolved. Of course, the issue of what is very steep here, and we're working quite hard. So we are the first to acknowledge that there are things that have been going quite wrong. You would remember when it comes to electricity, Maluti Apofung owes us close to about 5 billion. So obviously it's quite a steep amount of money. And then there's been water challenges that we are dealing with. The Department of Water Affairs under Comrade Senzo Mkhulu is inside this area. Even the issue of roads, it's an issue. There are about 17 roads where provincial government is spending close to about 242 million to make sure that these roads get improved, repaired. So there's a lot of interventions that the ANC-led government is doing, because there are unique challenges here. And indeed, there are challenges of land, and the cooperation between us and the chiefs and the traditional is quite important. So our Department of Human Settlement is also in the space to intervene. The bigger problem of unemployment is also an issue that President spoke to. Of course, our jobs plan is at the center of resolving that matter. You know that our jobs plan, we are targeting close to about 2.5 million jobs, but we have a set aside of 1 million jobs to make sure that the issue of unemployment, especially in Tabamfutsanyana, in Malutapofum, can be tamed.
Mr. Besadi, I hear you mentioning all these plans, and of course they're still probably in the discussion process or pipeline process. I know probably it will be unfair for you to answer this, but how is the ANC government going to try and ensure that they regain the trust of, people here? When will they be able to see all those plans starting, the implementation phase of them?
No, we're not at a planning. We're not discussing. We're actually having a manifesto that is based on thorough knowledge of the challenges of unemployment. Like, for an example, one of the things that we're doing right in the province of Free State, there's about 8 active sitters which are training young people already since last year. In the whole province, over 10,000 young people have been trained, because what is critical is that if you want to create job opportunities, you've got to make sure that young people in particular, even people broadly, they have necessary skills so that they can create jobs for themselves. They can also become more employable. So we're no longer talking about something that we're still mulling over, already implementing. That is why I'm able to say in the Free State since last year March, we have already trained just over 10,000 young people in terms of real skills that will put them at the center of the real economy.
Let's talk about the party itself. United, are the factions now, those previous factions have settled their issues, and have they decided now to rather put their differences aside to ensure that at least the party does succeed in the upcoming general elections? We know in Mangaung there were a few members who were previously went to a disciplinary committee and they were sort of suspended, and they still don't know their future. I don't know if you know about that. Can we touch on the unity within the party?
Look, as you say, we have been having our own challenges as an organization, but coming from 2017 and coming from 2022 55th National Conference, we agreed, we took strong resolutions that our program of unity and renewal has got to be deepened. And if you look at what we have done, we made sure that unity should not just be unity by just working together. It has to be a unity that is premised on principles of the organization. Part of that, we've made sure that in terms of the unity and renewal program, we intensify political education. Fortunately, I'm the chair of the political education subcommittee. Comrade David Makura is the head of political education. In other words, he focuses on political on full-time basis. We have gone through all provinces to make sure that we induct leaders at provincial level, regional level, and we are now it happens at branch level. So we are very confident that the message, the political education that we're embarking upon is being received by our structures quite well. And how do you see that? It is not only a political education and just talking. You see in terms of the outcomes. If you look in a province such as Free State, which was riddled with factionalism, since the provincial conference, there is a very deep sense of stability. That is why people from Tabamfutsanyana and from Malutapofum have been able to come out in their thousands to support the message of the African National Congress. If you go to even the province, the region that you spoke about, Mangaung, it is very stable. That does not mean everything it is perfect. It is not perfect, but we have done, the province is doing its best under the circumstances to make sure that unity and renewal is on course. So we are united, there's no doubt.